I'm sorry. I'm just like really, I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck during those years. You're still stuck 20.
We're watching a scandal unfold in real time, and the silence from one of Hollywood's most recognizable figures is growing harder to ignore. When federal agents raided the homes of Sean Diddy Combs in March 2024, the entertainment world braced for impact. But few expected the fallout to reach someone like Ellen DeGeneres, whose carefully curated image had already been shaken by past workplace controversies. Now, as Diddy sits in a Brooklyn detention facility awaiting trial on charges of racketeering, trafficking, and coercion, old clips of Ellen laughing alongside him on her show are resurfacing with a chilling new context. The question isn't just what she may have known. It's why she's saying nothing now.
Yeah. And they rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're...
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I have a lot of people have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted of...
The timing couldn't be more explosive. Just days after Diddy's arrest, Joe Rogan made a striking observation on his podcast. Ellen's name keeps surfacing in conversations about Diddy's infamous gatherings, yet no one in mainstream media seems willing to press her for answers. The contrast is impossible to ignore. While other celebrities rush to distance themselves or issue statements, Ellen's response has been total radio silence. And when you revisit the footage, her playful banter with Diddy about his after-parties, even her nickname for him, Cuddle McNugglestuff, from a 2016 tweet, the jokes no longer feel harmless. They sound like echoes of something far darker. Take the 2018 interview on the Ellen DeGeneres Show, where the two reminisce about Diddy's legendary soirees. Ellen, smiling, asks if he'll arrive on time. Diddy jokes that he's always fashionably late, then adds, "Once you get there, that's when the party really starts." Ellen nods knowingly. "I know about them," she says. The audience laughs. But today, that moment doesn't play like comedy. It plays like a cryptic admission, especially in light of what federal prosecutors now allege those afterparties involved: private floors, locked doors, and activities far beyond celebrity networking.
As Wild King Nights. And what a Wild King Night was when him and a guest would go to a hotel room or be at his home, his bedroom, and they would have intimate gatherings. I would have to go and prep that hotel room, which consisted of baby oil, astral.
The irony is brutal. Ellen built her brand on kindness, on being a safe space in Hollywood. Yet here she is, repeatedly connected to a man now synonymous with allegations of exploitation. And it's not just one clip. There's the 2009 interview where Diddy defends hosting Chris Brown after his assault on Rihanna, and Ellen, who positioned herself as a champion for women, lets him off with a soft response. "I don't want any girl thinking it's okay to go back to a guy who hit her," she says, before quickly moving on. Then, years later, her own show collapses amid reports of a toxic workplace, with former staff describing intimidation and fear. The parallels are hard to miss. A warm public persona, private allegations of control, and a pattern of looking the other way when power is involved. But this is where the story gets even more complicated.
I've talked for a while, a lot of people are buzzing that Diddy's former BFFs are real quiet.
And they have been.
And people were wondering why, and who's the next to fall. And then Jay-Z comes out, and then LeBron James says, "I'm stepping away for excused personal reasons." And people are going, oh, what is going?
While Ellen remains silent, others connected to Diddy's world are being forced to speak or are distancing themselves. Usher, who lived with Diddy as a teenager, once described the experience as pretty wild, a phrase that carries new weight given prosecutors' claims about underage attendees at Diddy's events. Justin Bieber unfollowed Usher after the raids, reigniting speculation about his own time around Diddy as a minor. Even Ashton Kutcher, who once called Diddy's parties weird, has been pulled back into the conversation. Yet Ellen, who hosted Diddy multiple times, joked about his top floors, and later moved to the UK amid her own scandal, remains silent. That silence is exactly what makes Rogan's point so unsettling.
Talk about the filth that's starting to come out in the early days of the Diddy trial. This, of course, is P. Diddy. Surprise, surprise, he's a creep. Surprise, surprise, he's done horrible.
Rogan isn't accusing her of a crime. He's asking why, at a moment when nearly every name tied to Diddy is being scrutinized, Ellen seems untouched. Is it because she's a woman? Because her scandal involved workplace toxicity rather than criminal charges? Or because the answers might implicate more than just her? The clips are there. The 2002 Conan appearance where Diddy jokes about locking doors so guests can't leave. The 2016 tweet that now reads like an inside joke with sinister undertones. The way Ellen leans in when he talks about the real party starting later, none of it looks innocent anymore. Meanwhile, the legal case against Diddy continues to expand. His May 2025 trial looms, with prosecutors alleging decades of coercion, hidden cameras, and a network of enablers. Attorney Tony Busby claims more than 100 accusers have come forward, spanning from the late 90s to today. And yet, as the list of implicated names grows, Ellen's remains conspicuously absent from the mainstream narrative. Is that protection or something else? And this leads directly to another layer of the story.
Well, the things that I experienced with him were monster-like. That stuff almost destroyed my life.
Remember the BuzzFeed report that exposed the toxic culture behind the Ellen DeGeneres show? Staffers described an environment where dissent wasn't just discouraged, it was punished. Fear of retaliation kept people quiet. That dynamic sounds eerily familiar. It's the same structure insiders describe within Diddy's inner circle: enforced loyalty, silence maintained by power, and an unspoken understanding that certain truths should never surface. The difference is scale. Diddy's allegations are criminal. Ellen's were professional. But the pattern, the way power insulates itself, is strikingly similar. Then there's her exit. Ellen and Portia de Rossi moved to the UK in 2022, framing it as a lifestyle change. But the timing is curious. Her show's reputation was collapsing, and the industry was beginning to ask harder questions about who enabled what behind closed doors. Coincidence? Maybe. But in the court of public opinion, timing matters, especially when you've spent years joking with a man now accused of running a trafficking operation, and your response to his arrest is silence.
This accuser says he's already listed as John Doe in a civil case against Combs. So talk about how that could impact this investigation now that he's also has identified himself too.
Yeah, so the only impact that I can see on this investigation will now be that law enforcement will know who to speak with. But he already reached out to law enforcement in Florida that's been working in conjunction with LA, where the alleged...
And this isn't just about Ellen and Diddy. It's about an entire ecosystem. The white parties. The Hamptons. Beverly Hills mansions lit around the clock. Guest lists packed with Hollywood royalty: Leonardo DiCaprio, Jay-Z, Kim Kardashian, Justin Bieber. All of them have been asked about their ties to Diddy. Some have distanced themselves. Others have stayed quiet. But Ellen stands apart. She turned those parties into recurring jokes on her show, treated the rumors as punchlines, and may have been closer to the truth than she ever admitted. In 2019, Khloe Kardashian casually mentioned attending a Diddy gathering where half the people were naked. The clip resurfaced after the raids, transforming a throwaway comment into something far more disturbing. If Khloe, with no legal exposure, volunteered that detail, what did Ellen, someone who built a career on reading the room, actually know? And why won't she speak now?
Civil case is a much lower standard of a preponderance of the evidence, or in more layman's terms, more likely than not, the measurement we as attorneys typically use for that is 51%. And so for a civil case, you're just saying, hey, is there a 51% chance that Sean Combs allegedly committed these acts? If so, he would be liable. In the federal case, which was criminal, that was proof beyond a reasonable doubt, where he was found guilty of those two counts you mentioned earlier, and is serving a 50-month sentence in...
What haunts people isn't shock in Ellen's reactions, it's recognition. That's the detail that lingers. Because in the era of viral clips and federal indictments, every old laugh track begins to sound like a cover-up.
There is a partial verdict in the Diddy case. After 2 days, the jury has reached unanimous decisions on 4 of the 5 counts. The problem is that 5th count means that we don't get to find out what the verdicts are on the other 4 because they are hung up on...
Scandals don't stay contained. Once one thread unravels, the entire tapestry starts to fall apart. And right now, that thread is Ellen's silence. If she truly knew nothing, why not say so? If the party jokes were just jokes, why not clarify? The longer she remains quiet, the louder the speculation grows. Diddy is in jail. His trial is approaching. Accusers continue to come forward. And Ellen is in the UK, posting about her garden while the internet dissects every clip, every tweet, every shared laugh. The question isn't just what she knew. It's what she's willing to admit. Because this was never just about parties. It's about who attended them, who joked about them, and who chose to look away. And right now, Ellen remains one of the few who still won't break the silence. But there's one more clip we haven't discussed, one that could change everything.
Cue of day 26, they were on Making the Band 4. He has finally come out and had a conversation about why he was so upset and crying in a lot of his interviews, talking about Diddy and that whole conversation. Yeah. And he is making some really huge allegations against.
In 2016, during an interview with Amy Robach, a former member of Diddy's boy band Day 26 described a disturbing experience at one of those parties. He claimed he woke up in a basement room, cameras rolling, feeling like he'd been sacrificed. The details were harrowing. And the location? Diddy's Hamptons estate, the same place Ellen once joked about visiting. The same location prosecutors now link to some of the most disturbing allegations. So the question becomes unavoidable. When Ellen laughed about those after parties, did she know what was happening behind closed doors? And if she didn't, why does it feel like she did? Because when you step back and examine the pattern, not just the moments, the connections between Ellen's career choices and Diddy's world begin to look less coincidental and more systemic.
How many people came through his orbit? How many people could this have happened to? And how did he get away with it for so long?
Ellen's professional downfall began around 2020, right as the earliest waves of Diddy's legal troubles were surfacing. Not the full federal case we see today, but the whispers, lawsuits, and accusations from former associates. At the same time, Ellen's show was imploding under claims of intimidation, racial discrimination, and a culture of fear. Both figures built empires on charm and accessibility. Both were later accused of using power to silence dissent. And both, when the pressure mounted, retreated instead of confronting the fallout head-on. Then came Ellen's move to the UK in 2022.
Was, Your Honor, I will accept the Mann Act, but I feel like I was targeted by a weaponized Justice Department, and I now understand what President Trump was saying when he said that happened to him, because we have similar things that happen, and I appreciate what he was saying now. I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now.
That's real simple for you to...
Officially, it was a lifestyle change. A quieter life with Portia. But realistically, Ellen didn't just leave the US, she left at the moment scrutiny was intensifying. She relocated to a country with stricter libel laws and a press less inclined to pursue aggressive celebrity accountability. Coincidence? Possibly. But in scandals like these, timing is rarely accidental. Her exit looks like someone who sensed the storm wasn't over, it was just beginning. And over the years, she consistently used her platform to soften Diddy's image.
We've done 3 others where we've laid out the prosecution case. This time, we're talking specifically, what is Diddy's defense? And we decided to test it with a mock jury, and it is fascinating.
It is absolutely fascinating, keeping in mind that the real jury will be sitting down to do this. The trial starts first.
This wasn't a one-off. It was a pattern. Multiple appearances. Insider jokes. Lighthearted interviews. She joked about his parties like they were harmless perks, not alleged hubs of coercion and surveillance. She gave him a nickname that now reads like a grim punchline. And she never pressed him on the rumors, not when Cassie Ventura's lawsuit surfaced, not when allegations mounted, not when others distanced themselves. Ellen's show became a safe zone for Diddy, where the questions stayed soft and the laughter stayed loud. Her silence now isn't just about him. It's about her. Because if she truly had no idea, why not say so? Why not clarify? The silence suggests either deeper knowledge or fear of what speaking might uncover.
In the moment, it just felt like, what? Like, is this fun for him? Is this like a test?
This goes beyond one talk show host. It's about a system. Executives who looked away. Celebrities who attended and never questioned. Media outlets that treated rumors as gossip instead of warning signs. Ellen was part of that system. Her show was a PR refuge, a place to polish reputations. And by offering Diddy that space, she helped sustain the myth that he was just another mogul, not a man now accused of running a criminal enterprise. She wasn't powerless. She was one of the most influential women in entertainment. And yet, she never used that power to ask the hard questions. Silence, in moments like this, isn't neutral. It's a message.
This is the flight where Diddy said to her,
showed her
she
the video,
testified
showed her the
that
freak-off video.
He showed her a video of a freak-off that she participated in and said, if you don't participate in another freak-off when we get to New York, I'm going to put this video out. I'm going to send it to your mother.
And that's coercion.
She testified
if it's true.
to that.
If the jury
believed her,
yeah,
that's coercion. They would have
So what happens if the truth finally comes out? What if buried in the evidence there's a clip, a text, a witness who connects Ellen more directly to Diddy's world? This isn't about awkward jokes anymore. It's about federal charges and decades of alleged abuse. If Ellen is seen as someone who helped maintain Diddy's facade, her career won't just be damaged, it will be finished. And she knows it. That's why the silence feels so heavy. This isn't avoidance. It's self-preservation. Ellen once sold herself as kindness personified, a moral anchor in Hollywood chaos. But if recent years have taught us anything, it's that the loudest advocates for kindness often have the most to hide. Ellen isn't shouting anymore. She isn't speaking at all. And scandals have a way of dragging everything into the light. Diddy's trial is coming. Witnesses are stepping forward. And every day Ellen stays quiet, the questions grow louder. Did she know? Did she look away? Was she part of the machine? Because if she was, the fallout won't stop with her. It will expose everyone who chose the myth over the truth. So now we ask the question no one wants to ask yet. What if Ellen isn't just a bystander, but a key figure in a story still unfolding? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This conversation is far from over. Stay sharp. Stay curious. Because sometimes the loudest truths are the ones no one says out loud.